Yeah, Right, which again really seems to fit on an album that is entitled The Bitter Truth. Tell me about that song.
I'm so happy that song is on this album. I began that song and had most of it, like the core, like the writing of it, not the way we did it, but the song itself, written a decade ago. And there was this time right before, like when we were in the writing process for our self-titled album, before we found Nick and before we went down the road we went down and made the album we made, I was in this kind of weird creative in-between space where I had done what I had said a few minutes ago and didn't have a plan about what music was. It was just like doing what felt good to me. And it was coming out really different. And it was somewhere like kind of a lot of it in between Solo maybe and Evanescence. And I was just kind of searching. I had a cool idea, but it just wasn't coming together all the way, like not for what it was. And there was this big pile of songs that were in another direction that were good songs that I truly believe in, but we bailed on them and went this new way and made most of the music for our self-titled. So all this time I have had that one like at the top of the pile of stuff that I am determined is going to make it out there and going to be cool. Somehow we just have to find a way, like the band had to find themselves in it because it sounds very different. It is very different. Its origins are different. It started out like really electronic and the lyrics and the way that it sounds was a joke. It was sarcastic. It was like, let's make a pop song, but the way to get that all the way across would have to be to make it heavy, and that wasn't happening back then. So when I kind of had this realization about it, and Jen was a part of that, because I was like, can you imagine? I forget. We were at some festival and we were watching a couple of different bands, and Rob Zombie was one of them. And I was on side stage, and you know how that music is almost like a creepy, methed out carnival fun, but like fucked up thing. I had this vision about that. And I was like, that's what we need to do with Yeah Right. Like that energy of it's fun, but it shouldn't be fun. Like when you're watching, a movie and something horribly horrific is happening, but the music is like, what a wonderful world.
Yeah.
So
the juxtaposition.
Yeah. So I was like, how do we apply that idea into this song? Like we have to find ourselves in it. And Jen just laid some guitar in a cool way down on a chorus and sent it to me over the internet over Dropbox while we were apart. And I was like, yeah, I hear it now. And then when we got together and it started becoming what it was, I got really excited because it turned into the dark and heavy thing that it really needed to be, but it couldn't have been back then. So I don't know. I'm really happy for that song, and I'm happy that it waited. Actually, if I heard myself say that in the past, I'd be like, no, but I am. I'm glad that it waited till now.
And the actual lyrical content about it.
You're going to push me. Okay.
Just a bit.
Well, I wrote most of the lyrics back then 10 years ago. And I definitely was going through a period of time where I didn't know what I wanted to do next. And I was sick of the cartoon version that was being reflected back at myself. And also just feeling misunderstood on the outside. And part of that has been keeping some of those dragon slaying stories to myself, to rise above it and go, okay, all right, well, I'm not going to let that drive my narrative and we're going to move on, kind of vibe. But that song came out of a lot of just angst and frustration and a big middle finger to people that have been a part of this and tried to rip it apart.
Well, the end result was really excellent. So an excellent answer describing the song. And we also got the album title for the forthcoming Rob Zombie live album out of it.
It's so funny.
I jotted it down.
I mean, it doesn't sound like
out. Creepy, methed out carnival fun.
Carnival.
And again,
Yeah.
if Rob Zombie doesn't use it, I'll bet Tom Waits
Oh.
would also like to use that as a live album title. So, maybe you can make a couple extra bucks selling it to it. Maybe we'll see how it works out.